Hey Joe, it's Folks here. I got this post here inside of my print on demand Facebook group. Again, someone asking about Shopify versus Etsy. This is definitely a subject I have covered before, but because we are at the beginning of 2025, I wanted to make an update video. Inside of the video today, we're going to be focusing on this question by looking at 3 specific questions about Shopify versus Etsy. The first is, which platform is it going to be easier for us to get traffic to our products? Basically, which platform is going to be easier for us to get people to see our items? Question number 2, we're going to be thinking about which platform, Shopify versus Etsy, is going to give us as print-on-demand sellers greater long-term ROI on the effort we put in. And number 3, we're going to be looking at whether or not Shopify or Etsy gives us the most freedom with our print-on-demand product line to sell to the best niches and offer some of the best print-on-demand products to our audiences. Full disclaimer though, I do prefer Shopify. If you are interested in Shopify, I have a free print-on-demand course. It is called POD for Dummies. There is a link down in the description. Inside are over 30 videos showing you how to build your store. So if you watch this video and you decide that you want to try Shopify, make sure to check that out. The answers to the questions that we're going to be talking about today are things that I debated on stage at Printify. In the video today, like I said, I'm going to be breaking some things down for you with 2025 in mind. What I will say quickly is that if you are someone that thinks it sounds fun to run your own print-on-demand store and to design it and make it look how you want, and to also be active on social media, posting about your products, engaging with followers, then honestly, Shopify is probably going to be the place where you are going to excel with a print-on-demand business. So our first question that we're going to try to answer is, where is it easier for us to get traffic to our designs? Basically, which place, Shopify versus Etsy, is it easier for us as new sellers to get people to actually see our stuff? To answer this question, we have to first break down how each platform would actually work and what the strategy would actually be to get people to see our things. With Etsy, you are creating a storefront and then you begin uploading your designs to your storefront, which then show up inside of the Etsy world, basically inside of the Etsy search results. When someone goes to Etsy, kind of like this, and they type something in the search box up top, all of the different listings that are relevant to what they typed in end up showing up. With Shopify, you are building your own store, something like this. This is a print-on-demand store that I featured recently here on my channel. And then you would be using a social media page on Facebook like this here to get traffic to your store. You could also be active on Instagram and post about your products and ultimately even run ads as well to get traffic to your store. And what most people say is that with Etsy, all you have to do is upload and then there's already people searching there and they will just find your stuff. I think that is not entirely true. What I mean by that is it is not actually that easy to get eyeballs on Etsy. Meaning, if there are hundreds of thousands of other people that are showing up in the search results with you, then how are your things going to actually be seen? As a new seller, it is not that easy to get visibility on the Etsy platform. That's why companies like Printful are creating blogs like this for people that feel invisible on Etsy. Just because Etsy has people searching on the platform does not mean it's easy for you as a new seller to get them to see your things. In fact, it's one of the hardest parts of actually selling on Etsy. At this point, there's over 10 million people selling there, and most of the good niches have, like I said, hundreds of thousands of other people inside of the search results. One thing that changed recently was right here on the search result page. You can see up at the top right, it says 1,000 plus items. That is something that actually used to display the actual amount of results in the search. And what ended up happening was sometimes it would say over 1 million results, and it was starting to discourage people from actually trying to sell inside of certain niches or product types. So Etsy changed it to 1,000 plus items. I even found this article here on the Etsy community where someone was actually asking where it went. They used to use it to judge whether or not a niche was too saturated, and now they can't find that information. The verdict is that yes, Etsy does have people on the platform searching for items, but that does not mean it is easy for you to be seen. I have talked to many different people. I've even interviewed some of them here on my channel about how after uploading hundreds of designs to Etsy, they still were not getting any visibility at all. My point here is that even though Etsy has built-in traffic, that does not mean it's easier than when you have a Shopify store. With Shopify, you could start by launching a simple $5 per day ad on Instagram Instagram and instantly start bringing people in your niche directly to your store. They would not see other people's listings because they would be on your store looking at your things only, and you could quite literally just turn on this ad and begin getting traffic to the store. Of course, that way does cost money, and you could instead explore organic marketing. I showed you this store here. You can see that what they're basically doing is posting lots of content for people inside of their niche. They're heavily posting memes as well, which is a great way to get people engaging with their accounts. And then up in the bio of their account, they do have a link here. Obviously, this store is a little bit further along. They have over 100,000 followers, but ultimately that would be your goal. The idea would be to start and begin accumulating followers and engage with them, and then share pictures of what you're selling and have a link here in the bio for them to come to your store. Another way would be to partner with an influencer. This is something I have talked about a lot here on my channel, where I've actually shown some specific things that I've done with content creators in my niche, essentially sending them a sample of one of my products and having them promote it to their followers. This is a great way to instantly send people directly to your store. Even if it is new, you could partner with a content creator. Let's say that the content creator had 5,000 or 10,000 followers, and they posted that product that you're selling on their account. That would be a ton of eyeballs instantly on your things, whether you are new or not. For some people, doing some of that stuff is scary, which is, like I said at the beginning, I have a free course down in the description of this video showing you how to get started with some of this stuff. But when it comes down to the question, where is it easier to get seen? The answer is clearly Shopify. Yes, you do have to engage with people on social media, but that is not necessarily a hard thing. The fact is that people are on average spending over 145 minutes per day on social media, and getting them to look at your things and come to your store is not as hard as you may think. The second question we're going to address is, what is going to give us a better ROI on the time that we invest into our store? Shopify versus Etsy is the debate here. Ultimately, if you put 6 months into an Etsy store and you upload consistently and you have niches that you're making designs for, after 6 months, you're going to have just that. You're going to have an Etsy shop that is full of designs, and if you wanted to continue to actually run the Etsy shop, you are likely going to have to continue to just create designs. You've essentially not really got much in terms of an ROI, because with Etsy, the name of the game in order to stay relevant is to continue to upload new designs. This is why you see people all the time making videos about how you can create 100 designs in 10 minutes or something crazy like that, because in order to stay relevant with your Etsy shop, you need to create lots of designs. I would assume that most people out there having any success at all with Etsy have hundreds, if not thousands, of designs on their store. If you were to run a Shopify store for 6 months, you would likely have a decent amount of followers accumulated. You'd probably have identified what your best sellers are. You'd probably have some social media ads running on both Facebook and on Instagram, and you'd probably have some partnerships started with a couple of Instagram or YouTube influencers. You would essentially have a business. You would have an asset. I personally have actually sold print-on-demand stores before, and my point here is, after 6 months, you would have a return on the time that you've actually put in, because all you would really need to do is continue to maintain the business. You would post on social media, you would correspond with some influencers, you would talk to followers and maybe announce when you have a new sale or something like that, but you would not constantly be creating new things. Of course, you could create more designs if you wanted to, but you don't necessarily have to focus only on growing your catalog. My point here is that with Shopify, your success over the long term is not tied to the amount of time that you spend creating things. Ultimately, if you have an Etsy shop and you stop uploading new designs, eventually that shop is going to fizzle out. With Shopify, all you need to do is maintain your social media profiles, and if you ever wanted to, you have an asset that you could actually sell, because you've built a brand, you've built a website, you've got followers. You could include the social media pages with the sale of the store. Obviously, that could get quite complex. I'm not making this video advising everybody here to try and sell print-on-demand stores. It's just something I've done, and I wanted to mention it. Now, our last question is all about which platform, Shopify or Etsy, is going to allow us as sellers to be able to sell to the best niches and offer the best print-on-demand products. For me, the answer is clearly Shopify. The reason is because on Etsy, a lot of times the best niches are too competitive. This is likely why you see so many people out there teaching about Etsy, telling you to find a low competition niche. If you've never heard that before, go spend 10 minutes watching Etsy related content. People will say that in order for you to actually stand out with your designs and with your store, it's probably best for you to find a low competition niche. They're essentially saying that all of the good niches have too much competition. And in order for you to stand out, you're going to have to choose a low competition niche, which I kind of just view as a niche that is not good. It is likely something that does not have a lot of demand, and it's likely something that does not have a lot of long-term potential. So therefore, the answer to our question about which place is going to allow us to sell to the best niches and offer the best products is clearly Shopify. You are building your own store, you are choosing the best niche that you can for your designs, and then you're bringing them directly to people on social media. There's no competition around you. You're not trying to outcompete 200,000 other people in search results. You're simply putting your products in front of members of your niche. And if the design is good, they will have nothing else to consider but what you are showing them. So basically what I'm trying to say is that if you are someone that is getting into print on demand and you think it would be really fun to run your own print on demand store, you see the potential, you think it's really exciting that you can make designs for tons of different print on demand products and you can sell them online without ever having to order any inventory, but you're also someone that, like I said, thinks it would be fun to design your own shop and to have some social media pages where you can engage with followers and post updates about your products and maybe even create a little community around your brand, then Shopify is 100% the best place for you to actually do that. Personally, like I said, I went through some reasons today where I think Shopify is far better than Etsy. At the end of the day, though, if you like the idea of just being able to create random things and upload them to Etsy and not really do much else, then that is something that you could do. I'm not going to be mad at you. I just wanted to make a video here sharing some different things that I think make Shopify the better choice. I think as time goes on, Etsy is only going to get more and more competitive, and I think that building your own Shopify store is a tried and true strategy that is never going to get saturated because we're simply just creating apparel brands or home decor brands or whatever other type of product you are focusing on, and that is something that is not tied to anything like what is tied to on Etsy. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know down in the comments your thoughts about the things that I went through in this video today, and I will see you in the next video.